Hi guys, Garlic here with another 2004scape video. Members release is so close, I can almost taste it, and I'm getting super excited for it. It should be a real good time. I will be streaming it live on launch, hopefully, so if you guys want to come and join me for that, you can either sort of follow me around and do quests as I do them, or you can do your own thing and just let me know what you're up to, and we can all sort of talk about it together. It should be a ton of fun. But today I thought I would make another ramble video. I know in my last video I mentioned talking about jewellery. Originally I was going to do it with all the teleports and stuff in one video, but it just ended up being too long. So we're going to do this video on all the different types of jewellery that are going to be available in 04. And all the jewellery that will not be as well. We'll just sort of go through them and talk about what they do and whether or not you'll be able to make use of them. Just to kick things off, really, I will just start by saying the opal, jade and topaz jewelry will not be in the game. Obviously that was quite a late edition in old school, so we won't have access to those. You will be able to get the gems, but I believe the only use for them will be on the machetes, so I'm just going to sort of skip over them. I'm not going to talk about those because it would take up too much time. But we are going to break these down by the jewellery that you can make at different... we're going to categorize them basically by the types of gems that you need for each one. So, we're going to start off with the Sapphire Jewellery here. The first one we're going to talk about is the Ring of Recoil. Now, this was released in April 2004, so we will have access to these. And essentially what these things do is just, whatever damage you take, 10% of that damage plus 1 will be done to the attacker. So, obviously... going to be quite useful when you're PKing. They will have a certain amount of charges, so they will break eventually. So you're going to have to keep getting lots of them and reusing them. So probably not a good idea to use when you're just training your melee stats, but if you're PKing or anything like that, Ring of Recoil is going to be definitely a useful ring to have. Other than that though, we're moving on. The Games Necklace. Now this was released in November 2004. So it won't actually be in 2004scape on members release, and I did mention a little bit about this in the previous video, but essentially when it does come out, it will only be able to teleport you to the Berthorpe Games Room. It won't have any other added teleports until, I believe, Barbarian Assault gets added, and that was quite a ways into the future. So no Games Necklace on release, but we should get it later this year for the Berthorpe Games Room teleport. The next one is going to be the Bracelet of Clay, which is essentially just an enchanted sapphire bracelet. This was released in April 2007, and basically all it was used for was it gives you the ability to mine soft clay instead of hard clay. So if you're wearing one of these and you mine a clay rock, you'll get soft clay, not hard clay. But obviously April 2007 is quite a ways off, so we're not going to have access to that. And the final piece of sapphire jewelry is the Amulet of Magic, which is a sapphire amulet enchanted, and this was released in May 2001. It's already in the game. You don't have to wait for members release. It's free to play, and this gives you a plus 10 magic bonus, so it's super nice for training your magic with that. And yeah, don't have to wait for that one, we can already get it. And that is basically all of the sapphire jewelry. Obviously, just to make these things, what you'll need to do is grab a gold bar and the corresponding mold for the type of jewelry you're going to make, and then the gemstone that you're using. So in this case, it would be sapphires. Take them to a furnace, and you can just smelt those pieces of jewelry, and then you would need to use the level 1 enchant spell on it to enchant it to have the actual effect. Otherwise, it will just be a piece of jewelry that does nothing. And the same can be said for the other tiers of jewelry, just with different levels of enchant spells. Speaking of the other pieces of jewelry, though, we're going to move on to the emerald jewelry. And the first one that we'll talk about is the Ring of Dueling. Now, this was released in April 2004, so we will have access to this. However, the only teleport you'll have on it is going to be the Jewel Arena. I mentioned this last video, so I don't know how useful that's going to be for people. I know when it had Castle Wars added to it later, it was very nice because you could teleport really close to a bank with Castle Wars, and you could also use it to train your rune crafting at Fire Runes, because you teleport to Castle Wars Bank, get your essence, teleport to the Jewel Arena, and then go to the Fire Altar, and then back to Castle Wars Bank again. So, be interested to see if people use this very much. I'm not quite sure why you need to teleport to the Jewel Arena like that regularly, but it will be in the game with the Jewel Arena teleport on it when members comes out. The next piece of emerald jewelry is the Binding Necklace. Now, this is the emerald necklace, and it was released in June 2005. So we've got a little ways to wait for this. It will not be in the game, and essentially what that does is it gives you a 100% success chance when you're trying to craft combination runes. They have 16 charges each, So you could do it 16 times before before it would break, and you'd need to grab another one. But it won't be in 2004. I think this came out with the introduction of combination runes. I don't believe their combination runes are actually in the game yet. So June 2005 for that one. Next up is the Castle Wars bracelet, which is the emerald bracelet that's been enchanted. This came out in April 2007, so again, quite a ways off. Castle Wars itself was actually released in, I think, December 2004, so that should come later this year, but the Castle Wars bracelet wasn't added until 2007, and it was quite an interesting one, actually. I don't think I saw many people using it back in the day, but what it would do was give you 20% extra damage if you're attacking someone that's holding a flag in Castle Wars, and it would also mean that bandages heal 50% more. It was also kind of interesting because you only needed to be wearing it like in the lobby until the game starts, and then after the game starts you can switch to other gloves, and they had 3 charges each. 1 charge was used for every game that you played. But yeah, not in 2004 that one, and Castle Wars obviously not coming out till later anyway. The next one is going to be the, well, there's actually 2 Emerald Amulets, or they won't be on members release, but there were eventually. The first one we're going to talk about is one that you can get your hands on right away, is the Amulet of Defense. This was released in May 2001, and all that does is give you +7 in all the defensive stats. So probably not very useful. Obviously, like, better DPS is, like, better than having high defense most of the time in RuneScape, because obviously the faster you can kill something, the less hits you'll have to tank anyway. But Amulet Defense is available. Not sure it's really worth anyone picking it up, but it's there if you want it. And the second Emerald Amulet that got added to the game was the Amulet of Nature, which actually came in July 2005. So that'll be sort of sometime in about a year's time. So not available in 2004, but this basically let you monitor a single farming patch. You would bind it to a particular patch, and then it will alert you if that patch gets diseased, when it's fully grown, if the plant dies. And it was kind of interesting because how you would make it would be getting an emerald amulet, but then instead of using a ball of wool to string it, you'd have to you'd have to spin a magic string and then use the magic string on it, and then enchant it, I believe. So quite an interesting amulet. I do remember them back in the day. I don't think I ever used them, but they will not be available in 2004. Moving on to the ruby jewelry, though. The ruby ring enchanted will become the Ring of Forging. Now, this was added in April 2004, so this should be available to everyone on members release. And essentially, this will give you a 100% success chance when smelting iron bars, and they have 140 charges each. So you can smelt 140 iron bars, not lose any of your iron ore, and then you'd have to get another one because I believe the ring would like melt in the furnace essentially. The next ruby piece of jewelry we're going to talk about is the Dig Site pendant. Now, this is the ruby necklace that gets enchanted. This was released in May 2007, so it won't be in 2004scape. The ways that you would get this and how it was used and stuff is probably, it's going to take me quite a long time to explain it all accurately so I'm just kind of going to skip over this one. It's basically related to teleports to the dig site, and you can get it from like doing some stuff in the museum. I won't go into the depth about that, obviously, because it didn't come out until 2007, so we don't really need to know about that just yet. The next piece of jewelry we're going to talk about, though, is the inoculation bracelet. Now, there's probably a lot of you sitting there going, what the hell is an inoculation bracelet? I've never heard of that before. And I really just kind of forgot that this had existed in the first place, to be honest. But this is the ruby bracelet when you enchant it, it becomes an inoculation bracelet. And this was released in April 2007. It's a very, very, very niche use case, but it requires the completion of the Zoga Flesh Eaters quest, and what it does is basically protects you against disease. It would protect you against 275 sort of disease hits, I believe, before it would break and you need another one. Obviously completely useless until disease gets added to the game, so April 2007, bit of a long way off, but I thought I'd sort of add it into the video just for sort of sake of completion, I guess. And finally, the final piece of ruby jewelry that you'll be able to get, that you can have right now actually, it's not a members item, is the Amulet of Strength. This was released in May 2001, and it just gives you a +10 strength bonus, which is super, super nice. It's basically like the best amulet just for like getting that max hit. So Amulet of Strength, I'm sure everyone's using that already. If you're not using an Amulet of Power, Amulet of Strength probably better for training with, depending on what you're killing. Moving on to the diamond jewelry. The diamond ring that gets enchanted will be a ring of life. Now, this was added in April 2004, so we'll have access to that in the game. And it basically just teleports you to, I believe, Lumbridge when you hit below 10% HP. If you're above 10% HP and you get hit by a massive hit that will one-shot you, it won't trigger, I believe. You have to get hit to below 10 HP without dying in that hit for it to be able to work. So just be wary of that. But it was always a good lifeline to have if you were going somewhere dangerous. The next one is going to be the Phoenix necklace, which is the diamond necklace. This was released in April 2007, so we will not have access to this. And essentially what it did was it heals 30% of your max HP if you drop below 20% of your HP. So not in 2004, but I do remember a lot of people using these for PKing back in the day. So maybe we'll see those in a few years' time. That moves us on to the Abyssal Bracelet, which is the diamond bracelet. This was released in April 2007 as well. A lot of the... I think there was a big jewelry update in 2007 because that's when a lot of these jewelry items got released, like all at the same time. But the Abyssal Bracelet basically prevented you from being skulled when entering the Abyss, and it had 5 charges, so you could go into the Abyss 5 times without getting skulled, and then you need to get another one. April 2007 though, going to be a few years till we get that. And finally, the Amulet of Power, May 2001. It's already in the game. You can buy one right now. And this basically gives you a +6 in all stats. It's quite nice for training things that aren't melee, because where you don't get the strength bonus, you don't need the strength bonus from the Amulet of Strength. And it gives, a nice balance of defensive and offensive stats there. So I know a lot of people have been using that already. That takes us on to the Dragonstone Jewellery. The first one that we'll mention is the Ring of Wealth. This was released in April 2004, so it will be available. And essentially, it just increases the rare drop table chances by removing the nothing drop. So on the rare drop table, there's a chance that you can get nothing. And I believe the Ring of Wealth just removes that nothing chance, so it increases the chance of all the other drops. This will be in the game, but it won't have any of the charges or the ability to pick up currency. That was added later on. So if you've used that before, the Ring of Wealth in Old School can pick up your currency for you, and it can teleport you to like the Grand Exchange and Miscellanea and stuff like that. That will not be on the Ring of Wealth. So you'll be able to get it, but those features will not be part of it. But I think this is going to be kind of best in slot ring for basically everyone that's not PKing, because, just being able to get a high chance on the rare drop table is just going to be super nice for getting some of those drops, especially if you're trying to, get the Dragon Square Shield half. That'd be super cool. Moving on to the Skills Necklace as well. This is a Dragonstone Necklace Enchanted. This came out in April 2007, so we will not have access to it. And it basically just gives you the option to teleport to various guilds in the game, like the Fishing Guild and things like that. Apparently, it also increases the chance of getting a casket when you're big net fishing. I didn't know that until I did a little bit of research on it. But that's kind of interesting. But again, April 2007, like a lot of these ones, it won't be available to us on members release. And another item that will not be available to us on members release is going to be the Combat Bracelet, which was also added in April 2007. This was kind of like a very nice item to wear on your hand slots. It gives +7 stab, slash, and crush bonus, +3 magic bonus, +7 ranged attack bonus, and then it also gives +5 stab, slash, and crush defense, +3 magic defense, +5 ranged defense, as well as a +6 strength bonus. So it gave a lot of very nice stats. It was very, very popular. It also allowed you to teleport to the Champions, Warriors, Ranging Guilds, and also the Monastery. So it was a very, very nice update when it came out, but April 2007 will not be able to have access to that in 2004scape. And the final Dragonstone Jewellery is going to be the Amulet of Glory. Wow, that kind of rhymed. That was weird. This came out in March 2004, so we will have access to this as soon as we can get our hands on some Dragonstones. Not sure how easy it's going to be to get those. It'll be interesting to see how many crystal keys come into the game in like the first few days. But this is obviously going to be like a very nice amulet. I think it's going to be best in slot amulet for basically everything. It gives +10 attack bonuses, +3 defense bonuses, a +6 strength bonus, and +3 prayer, as well as being able to teleport you to Karamja, Draenor Village, Edgeville, and Al-Kharid. So definitely looking forward to picking up one of those for myself. And I guess the next one we'll move on to. None of these are going to be in the game, but I thought I'd just mention them for the sake of, getting everything in one video. Onyxes were actually released in October 2005, so you won't be able to get an Onyx. I believe they were added with the Fight Caves and the Fire Cape in the Tazar place. But I thought I'd just go through them quickly. So if you turn your onyx into a ring, and enchant it, you would make a ring of stone. And if you wear that, you basically turn into a rock in game. So you just look like an old rock. I know a lot of people used to have a lot of fun with that back in the day, trying to troll people with it. The onyx, if you made it into a necklace and enchanted it, you get the Berserker necklace. This didn't actually come out until April 2007. So the onyx came out in 2005, and there were a few of these pieces that came out in 2005, but the Berserker necklace was 2007. And this basically increased the damage that you did with obsidian weapons by 20%, but it would give you a -10 stab/crush bonus, and also -20 to your defenses. So it was very interesting seeing Obby Pures use that. Another Onyx jewellery that came out in April 2007 was the regen bracelet. It's basically just doubled the HP regen that you had. It also would give you +8 to your stab/crush bonuses, +3 to your magic, +7 to your ranged, +6 to your stab/crush defense bonuses, +3 to your magic defense, and +6 to your ranged defense, as well as a +7 strength bonus. So it was a very nice bracelet to get hold of, but obviously not available in 2004. And finally, the Amulet of Fury, obviously the big boy one. October 2005 is when that was added. So I believe when the Onyx was added, it may have only been for the Amulet of Fury, maybe the Ring of Stone. I haven't got a date on the Ring of Stone, actually. I've missed that one. And that would just give you +10 in all the attack stats, +15 in all your defensive stats, +8 strength bonus, and a +5 prayer bonus. So obviously super, super cool. And just over a year to wait before that gets added. So definitely look forward to that one in the future. Other than that, though, I will just say there's no Zenites, obviously. That was an old school exclusive, not going to be in the game. But there are a couple of other amulets that aren't crafted by gems, but I thought would be worth including, since we're talking about jewelry. So I just wanted to briefly mention the Amulet of Accuracy. Now, this amulet, it gives you +4 in all your attack styles. And the only way to get one, as far as I know, is by doing the Imp Catcher quest. And I don't believe you can actually go back and reclaim it if you lose it. So there'll only be as many Amulet of Accuracies in the game as there are accounts created that have done the quest, which is kind of interesting. Obviously, the amulet's not the best, but it's a good little starter amulet to get early on. I'm still actually using it to train my range because I haven't bought an Amulet of Power for some reason. So Amulet of Accuracy, an interesting, quite a unique amulet there in the way that you can get it and the way that, if people lose them, they can't really get them back. I believe they are tradable, though, so you should be able to buy one if you really want to. Another interesting amulet that people might not be so aware of is the Gnome Amulet. Now, this was added in July 2002, and it was from the Tree Gnome Village quest, and it gave you a +13 to your stab, slash, and crush defenses. So, bit of an odd one there, giving +13 just to those defensives. But, if you need to tank something, I guess, and you can just do the quest, it might be useful at some point early on. And then finally, we have the Holy Symbol and the Unholy Symbol. Now, the Holy Symbol was July 2001, and this can basically be crafted, and then you would need to take the Unblessed symbol to Brother Jared in the Edgefield Monastery, and he's on the first floor, so you would need 31 prayer to get up there, and that would give you +2 defenses and +8 prayer. And the Unholy Symbol was March 2003, so we should also have access to that. And basically the way that you would do that is it would be crafted, and then you would bless it at the Spirit of the Scorpius Shrine, or with an Unholy Book or Book of Balance. I believe the shrine is near the observatory, and that would give you +2 to your attacks and +8 to your prayer. So the Holy and Unholy Symbol, basically the same amulet, but Holy gives you +2 defenses, Unholy gives you +2 attacks. But I believe that is basically all of the jewelry covered that will be in the game, and ones that won't be in the game as well. So I hope you found that useful. Hopefully that's given you a clearer picture of what to use your gems for. Like if you're waiting to save all your gems up to make bracelets of clay or something, don't bother because you won't be able to get them. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up the video for today, guys. Members are super, super close, getting very excited for that. Thank you for all your support, as always. And if I've missed anything, or if you can think of any other jewelry, that you're looking forward to using, please do let me know in the comments. But other than that, guys, please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. I'm having a blast making it. Join the Discord if you want to come and speak to me when I'm not in game. Got a little community going there. And other than that, I will see you in the next video.